Special shout out to Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. Malta Vibes being brought to you by Gaming Malta, providing the titles and the boot camps available to the winning teams of each individual week. So AVEZ, with their choice aside, will go CT. That's not surprising in the slightest here. And again, with a lot of advantages going their way, Fate will need to make magic out of this first half. If they can't do that, we're going to be in trouble. And that certainly smells like trouble from Lootbet, of course, our betting partners here for this tournament. You can get €100 on a deposit. So just go ahead and click the banner under the Twitch channel if you want to get involved in that. And certainly those odds do not favor Fate. Dwayne AVEZ currently looking to come hot off the heels of the momentum. Pistol round is going to go live. The double flash and defuse for Narot. No utility for most of the other players. Have got a little bit for Nicky. I think he dropped the pistol over to Blocker as well, and indeed taking that raid boss for the first headshot, the open kill.
That's a great start coming out from Fate. They find the opening pick, and AVEZ, they're trying to look for some information, and will Fate, they are ready for it. They're all grouped up from this monster position, but AVEZ have got a pretty good read on the situation. 3 players over at the B bomb side, and a quick rotator out from Narod out from Heaven.
Here we go, execution into the B bomb site. Han making his way out as Blocker gets another good kill. Bialy will be able to respond down towards water. Kyla is going to be next casualty. Narot and Bialy left alone in a 2 versus 4 retake coming up. Damage done to Nicky, 3 HP. Han will get Narot and Bialy just left alone. This is going to be an easy take for Fate. Much quicker, much better here. The pistol round going the way of Fate.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a great pistol round. And all it really comes down to is Blocker finding that opening kill. He gets a great entry out from the T-Con area onto the party player, and from there, they stack up on Monster, AVEZ, they start pushing out through short, and really, they only have to deal with a single player on the side. There's 2 players aggressive on the CT side out from short, 1 at Heaven and 1 towards the default box and kind of sitting behind it. So for Fate, all it really comes down to is establishing the crossfires and opening up that bomb side. A great start coming out for the Bulgarians on the T side, but they have to now deal with the force buy, and it's double scouts out for the CTs.
And Markov's taking his straight out towards this long control, looking for that opening frag. Seeing the shoulder of the first man and landing that headshot on Ships as well. Beautifully played with Blocker, taking Kai right back. So 4 versus 4. Damage was done to that AK-47, but Patrick still swinging out, looking for his own taste of blood. Marcos will be traded, so the scout only getting away with that 1 frag, and it's a 2-for-1 trade favor to the T-side line. The AKs across all the 4 players here. The Deagles will move in. The AK at Han keeping his eyes on the back lines, ready for someone to push in from this top control. Sprayed through, damage done to Kyla. No kill to his name as of yet. But it's done enough to keep them away.
And AVEZ, you know, they're pretty aggressive at the moment in this force fight. They're trying to look for some information. Should be a couple of man advantages, and well, there it is. 4-2 now going out for the Fate side. And for AVEZ, can't really do too much at the moment. They've only got 2 players surviving. And for Fate, you know, they've got a lot of control out towards long. Bathrooms present. They'll probably just try and make their way onto the A bomb side. This should be a pretty easy second round coming out for the Fate squad.
Yeah, Bialy tagged up. Deagle here for Narwhal. Deagle on Blocker and his teammate ahead of him, but only damage done to the T's that remain here. Scout shots connecting, not getting the kills though. 4 HP for Blocker, the only most dangerous player at that moment. And 2-0 for the Fate side. The dirty out for the CT Cab. We're going to rebuy here. Nicky, the Mac 10 as well to deal with the anti-eco, because AVEZ did go for that force up in the one, and they realized that from Fate. So realizing they'll just be basic pistols, upgrades out on P250s, maybe a couple of Deagles in check. We'll find out in a moment. But nothing major coming in from the CT side.
And so far for Fate, I've been pretty impressed so far. It certainly seems like they've had a little bit of a change up on the T side. It's at least looking, I wouldn't say aggressive, but a lot quicker on their defaults than what we've seen from them in these last couple of days. I've certainly been able to go back over the VODs and realize exactly what's been going wrong for them recently on the T side. But like you said, not many 2 upgrades coming out for the CT side, so it should be a pretty easy cleanup. Ships does find a couple of kills, and I say that, but so does the CT side.
Unable to get all of them though. Patrick takes out Kai. And Narwhal does find Blocker as well. 2-on-2. That's 2 AKs recovered here, and they're going to be uncontested to the B bomb site. The plant will be secured by Patrick over on A, so they'll get the round here, Fate. Unless AVEZ want to go for a retake. This will be very risky without the Kevlar in tow, and neither without any of the kits out. AK's moving in. Patrick out here towards the lower bank on the stairs. Not seeing any contact as of right now. The steps don't take a fight against Bialy. Win it out to the second player as well at Dumpster. So one man left for Narwhal. Make his way in. Deagle's out. Gets that kill in the end. So 3 kills for Patrick. Do recover the round. Do take all the weapons out of play for AVEZ, so nothing gets saved. But again, a CT Eco getting 3 picks out against Fate. That's a pretty big start.
Yeah, it is. That's a really good round coming out from AVEZ, and probably their best yet, considering the fact they haven't won a round. But jumping into round number 4, we're going to see the rifles being upgraded, AWP up for Marcos, and this is the opportunity for AVEZ to try and get aggressive. We've seen a little bit of aggression coming out on that city side, especially out towards that long control. An opportunity to see if they were able to strike with an opening kill, but for the Fate side, not really looking for any presence over towards A. Look at the stack from AVEZ, and they're going to have to deal with absolutely no one because, well, for the Ts, they're all stacked out upside a monster.
And they got the AK out here. So
yeah,
no
did
one can
too.
use that. I love the fact that HEs have now become viable to get weapons out of T-side hands. Get that opening kill down here towards Monster, and Norrock could pass off to a teammate. He is so holding the B bomb site here. On 14 HP, he's going to get overwhelmed so easily. No reliance on backup rotations, and they're all kind of aggressing towards long and mid. One player in connector as well. And Kyler is going to have to be quick to the rotation at this stage. Smokes down, flashes over, T-side quickly going to make their way out as Norrock's got to stay passive, and that's why a quick kill coming in for Blocker, spraying through the floor and getting us to 4-on-4 now. CT's on rotate back at Bialy, keeping his eyes on from bridge. Incendiary's out, Molotov's back nades on site. Actually going to miss out as it bounces onto the door, so not a lot of damage done to the T-side. Blocker's known though, that Incendiary from Bialy. He reads it. That's the experience I'm talking about, reading those positions and taking out Fate piece by piece. 4 versus 3, making it 2 as Bialy doubles up. Spray through the whatever from ships. Does find 1-2 players line up, but he can't take them down. Nicky can follow suit though, get 2 kills, not 3. And Kai with no defuse kit, but no problem. He's the last man standing with plenty of time, and AVEZ will take the first.
And that's huge. That's such a big round coming out from Bialy. To even read that position out to the graffiti of exactly where Blocker is, to force him out with the Incendiary and take about Bialy, because that's huge. That's a round-winning play. And for the AVEZ side, I wasn't too keen on such a heavy stack at A without pushing forward for information, because we saw they were just running a solo B player of Narwhal, and well, he was quite low within the first sort of 20-25 seconds of the round.
AK is out, M4's an SMG for AVEZ. Certainly taking the damage when it comes to the economy line. Good start from Fate, and again, a follow-up on the rifles. We'll get AVEZ there first, but could get knocked back a peg on the loss bonus here, especially if they lose this next round where both economies have heavily invested. So the pivotal point very early on here in the matchup. Both teams would love to score round 5. It would probably get a few more on their board. Team's currently set up towards short and underpass, nothing majorly aggressive, and AVEZ once again going for this 4-man stack in the mid and long positions. Only Norrock here to defend the B.
And it's normally the other way around. You normally see a lot of teams, you know, having quite a heavy stack at the default on the city side over at the B-bomb site. But for AVEZ, straight away, Ships, with that little jump out from the boost, he spotted out the single player at B, and Kyler, oh, he could get caught off here from hard if he starts to try and make his way out for short.
One plant secured with no casualties sustained by either squad. The M4 of Norrock. A Blocker close to him. Going to hear those footsteps on shore. Bialy's going to go ahead and join him. Flashes in towards heaven. Will keep Marcos at bay. These side players all around here. The CT's waiting for a backstab from Kyler. Gets shut down by Nicky. Now they have to act. They've wasted so much time in this though, waiting for that backstab to get set up, but they do find 3 good kills on the way in now to the site. Smokes up. Player spotted. Marcos can back up. They're looking for the defuse. Hunt's got a swing on. Twin gets 2. Transfers the spray to a third. A headshot. Beautiful at that. And Fate just scraped 4.
Oh, that spray control was so dirty. The transfer onto that third kill was unreal coming out from Han. Oh
Beautiful.
My goodness. That's insane. And, well, Fate, it comes down to the post plan at least. AVEZ are rushing the retakes because it's so slow, and the reason for that is they've only got a single player at B. They have to rotate all of their players over from the A bomb site.
That could not have gone better. Completely shutting down AVEZ on the economy basis here as a result of that round. So just Deagles out on an eco. Rebuy in around 7, but for now, just going to be easily picked apart by these rifles coming in. Mat 10 for Nicky to clean up the players that the AKs can't find. Hopefully he can get aggressive and farm up the cash here for the T's. Out from mid, the AK ships will move forward. And found that first kill. Kyler there in the bathroom to be the main concern right now for the CTs. 60 seconds left of the clock here. He's going to hear some footsteps swing around that corner, but miss out his kill.
And Fate certainly looking a lot better on the T side of Overpass. Really starting to prove a lot of people wrong in this matchup. Not really giving too much for AVEZ in round number 6. We are going to see a little bit of a boost to maybe come out to see if they can find anything over this smoke at long. Oh, but the T's, they've already passed him. Oh, they've heard that.
2 kills easily cleaned up there as they recognize what's going on. Mat 10 can't quite find his second, but that's fine. Patrick's there to keep him alive. It's 5-1 on the board for Fate, and with the buy up here, there may be some players without head Kevlar, so that Mat 10 staying in might not even be that bad of an idea. Norrot and Marcos in particular. No helmets on their side as the rebuy comes in. Limited utility sets for AVEZ, again to be expected with the money being the way that it is. Fate here on their next rifle, looking really good by comparison to previous performances. This is a much better side than what we've seen in the past.
And playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. And we're really not seeing too much control out to this A bomb site. It's been a lot of B site takes coming out from Fate. And we'll even starting things off this time around, AVEZ, they decide to get aggressive out through B. And, well, that's one of the first times we've actually seen them trying to take at least an aggressive stance out from short. It finds them that opening kill. But one thing you've got to keep an eye on, Jay, lack of utility for this AVEZ side, even with their man advantage. And, well, Ships has just found back into a 4-on-4.
Almost trying to make it 3. Bialy and Norrot to shut down the short control. Looking with the Mat 10 facing up, taking damage of his own right, so it looks like AVEZ may just claim the round off the back of this right now. I don't know where that bomb is. It maybe dropped the CT control. Han actually does have it on his back, excuse me, so flashes over, going to try to send him on the idea. He is making his way out from mid, but trying to bait in the aggression of the CTs here on B. He's got no choice but to go to B. Norrot. The toxic area is going to hear those footsteps coming in, jump face. You see the man, he does now. Han can't time the headshot perfectly, does take him down in the end, but Molotov's on site, smoke down, fades, goes ahead and extinguishes a little bit too early there, but 1 versus 3 for him. Several players are tagged up again. This is possible for them to still win. He's waiting for an opportunity to present to himself. The swing out from heaven comes into the right time, and Bialy will assist Kyler with that kill for his second round to the board of AVEZ.
And we need to see more from AVEZ in terms of aggression to find information. It certainly seems for Fate at the moment, they're finding map control too easily. Yes, we've seen aggression coming out from AVEZ around that playground and long position, especially around Fountain and Playground. And even the odds for the Fate side getting closer and closer. But if you do want to get involved with our fantastic partners of Hellcase, a couple of codes for you guys to use. 5-2, Fate. Well, that's not the opening they're looking for.
No, Marcos with a quick flick back to Nicky as he jumps his way out into underpass. That first frag, second kill coming in a connector area. Almost lines up a cloud, but gets his 4th, not quite. He stays alive though for a second chance, not going to happen for him. Ships actually trades him and Kyler back, so chance being bought by Fate. A 3-on-2 scenario though. AVEZ do currently have control. Blocker got to fall back here. If he pushes through that door, this round over.
Oh man, this is still winnable though for the Fate side. 2-on-3. Bombing control, a little bit of utility onto blocker. The problem is, though, the B players have already started pushing pretty aggressively. Kai's already got an eye on both connector and through the short pipe. And as soon as he spots some information, he can try and get Narod to back him up.
Well, 40 seconds left for Fate. No one to cover off this cross. Blocker better check it. He does, and he does just get the kill. They don't see that bomb, but they can make an educated guess right here. Norrot Standing by at water, smokes down. The bomb's got to cross to the bomb site, get a plant out here. And Norot's going to push in against them. See them both spray up, not transfer to the second. The ships just gets away alive. 3 kills to his name. Knows where BR is coming from as well, checking sandbags. Did he see the man crossing out? We hear those shots instead. For facing the player, but unable to get the kill. Bialy swinging out wide enough to ensure that he stays alive and ensure that AVEZ get third on the CT side. And
I'll tell you what, that's... For AVEZ's sake, they're probably disappointed in that round. Marcos did such a great job with that AWP out through connector, getting 3 massive kills. But Fate bring a 2-on-5 disadvantage back into a 1-on-1 in the end. It was a very expensive round, and well, these AWP, or this AWP I should say, doing so much damage, they almost line up for a 4th kill. And it seems like for the AVEZ side, they're at least winning rounds, but they're not the most successful at this point, Jay.
Now, at least they're bringing something back against Fate. And this T side looking much better than previous ones. Much more early sort of hits coming in from the Fate camp. The default's trying to set up for a decent couple of openers here. Orp in for Marcos, checking out the long position. What a flick! Straight to Patrick's head as well. Lightning fast reactions. But the T is going to continue their A campaign despite losing the opening man advantage.
Oh, these are some really nice shots coming out from Marcos, and well, he follows up with a second. Fate, they're just getting picked apart, and well, there's not really even any contact being made. It's just the swings coming in from Marcos.
2 kills, easy as that. Is he ready for the 3rd player out mid? Well, I don't think Nicky wants to take face. Backs off, let the ships go there instead. Molotov's down towards the front corner in mid. Marcos, tight gap to hit. Sees where ships is, connects that 3rd frag. Ready for more, does not catch Nicky, but Blocker goes down in the end, so Nicky left alone here in the 1 versus 5. Bialy's going to clean him up for his 2K. That's insane. Beautiful stuff from the AWP and AVEZ. A slow start, but now back in the game.
Okay, look, we're at least seeing some signs of brilliance coming out from Marcos. This first shot, incredibly quick. And, well, just follows up, getting so many opening kills for his team. And it seems like for Fate, you know, just offering 1 versus 1 duels there. We didn't see him blind at all. We didn't see the double wide swing. And AVEZ, well, they've got an opportunity now, especially with completely limiting the economy for the T side, of being able to tie us up at 5 rounds apiece.
AK quickly going to get taken out. Nicky drops Kyler. Bialy able to trade on towards 1 frag into the mid position. There's a lot of chaos, and the AWP were there to support the AK-47. Last player left is Han. Dealt with a flick back from Bialy. So again, these 2 players with the rifle and the AWP will just clean house very quickly for the AVEZ side. 5-5, even out on this board. And well, it seems like the early aggression momentum was short-lived there from Fate.
It certainly was, and I mean, one thing that is a little bit disappointing for the Fate side is the fact of, you know, Ships is the leading fragger, and I suppose you can say, oh, you know, that's a good element, but he's a stand-in. He really shouldn't be the player that is having the most amount of impact at the moment, but it seems like he is. AVEZ, can they see if they're able to take the lead over the Fate side at 5 rounds each? Fate, look how aggressive it is out through short, and that's one thing that I certainly can give them a lot of credit for, is the fact that they're taking map control incredibly quickly, especially out for this short position.
Oh, blind Patrick looking for his 2nd kill. No, he jumps. So Norrot and Kyler can take out the 2 players on that short position. Blocker will fall very quickly after the fact, and now Nicky left alone here. The spray towards 1, 3 more to get all in all. 2 HP. And taken out by Norrot there with a 3K to his name. A beautiful defensive held out by AVEZ, and a couple of mistakes being made by Fate. Now I'm already starting to see the signs that brought them down earlier on in the week. I wonder if they can recover or whether this will continue to get worse.
Well, it's just 5 rounds in a row now for the AVEZ side, and you're certainly starting to see the momentum shift. They're looking incredibly impactful. The crossfires being set are, you know, really sharp at the moment, really timinged on point. And for Fate, they're back on the eco round once again. A couple of upgrades coming out. You should expect for them maybe a kill at most. A bomb plan is always really difficult at a round like this, especially if you're trying to go over to the A bomb site. with no utility always makes it incredibly difficult to even get close to the bomb site. Let's just see what these Deagles can find. See if they can find a couple of nice shots.
Well, first player's not going to do anything with that. Patrick swinging into the second man, unable to get that kill either. Hahn will do his best, take out Kyler next to a 4 versus 4. But the pistols, you know, another good kill on the AWP. Jumping around the corner, baiting in the shots. Hahn does actually get that pick. Now, one player left in the back line. Bialy lines up 2 good kills. Can they get the third? Nicky's desperately looking for the trade. Can't land his bullets, missing every single one. Meanwhile, Kai in the back line drops the bomb. And we'll also double up onto Nicky as well. So missed shots across the T-side board. 3 players stay alive for AVEZ. And even though they're not completely confident in these rounds, they're building up quite the economy stage here from the T-side. Small tech pause coming in. Pretty sure this might end up being for Fate, obviously having some technical issues, and you can see obviously there's a player that disconnected. So yeah, small moments of respite for the T-side.
And hopefully Nicky will be able to get, you know, back in the server and get this match underway. But at least for AVEZ, one thing in particular that they're doing a really good job of is, you know, gaining momentum. That was one thing that we especially saw Fate struggle with in recent times, is it seems like when they stop, you know, winning round after round and it's like a bit of a streak for their opposition, they start to lose it a little bit. And AVEZ, this is now 6 rounds in a row. They're starting to build up their money line. They've been able to recover AKs to have on their CT side, and the AWP for Marcos is certainly showing a lot of impact. And you've got to think that AVEZ are really coming into their own in quite recently.
Yeah, they really have. Looking so confident here. And again, with Fate having their early string of rounds, it sort of has fallen off a little bit. The lead being gained by the CT side, but at the very least, this T side is looking much better than previous T sides that we've seen from Fate here. And certainly having the impact posted on the board by their main super sub Ships, currently on 10 kills, the top fragger in for the T side. Not quite as high as Bialy on AVEZ, who's having his own impact. But yeah, it seems like that extra sort of boost up has changed the complexion of Fate entirely, and for the better, it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I suppose Fate, I don't know how quickly they would have had time to try and get a stand in, because often it's normally a player's internet has gone wrong or a PC problem, and it's like, right, who can we kind of call to stand in? And well, Ships is a player that's had a lot of experience. You know, he's played with Blocker in the past on that Wendigo side. They were able to win WESG in 2018 or 19, I want to say. I can't remember which year it was. So they've certainly had a lot of experience between them.
2019.
It was 19? Okay.
Well, that depends, because I think officially it was called 2018, but obviously...
But it was in 2019.
2019, yeah. So
yeah.
It's more like the 2018 to 2019 season of WESG.
Yes.
But yeah, no, you're right. That was probably one of the biggest victories for these players and for that scene as a whole. Sadly, it's not quite translating right now against AVEZ. Not that same level of talent is not quite coming up to full fruition right now. Still 2 rounds down from the T side.
And you got to think for the Fate side, yes, you know, they've had a bit of a technical issue, but this could be a bit of a moment to kind of, you know, just calm down a little bit and say, right, okay, we're at least doing a lot better of a job on T side than we have recently. What can we do to just get a little bit further across the line? We've seen them taking map control over towards short and connector relatively easily. A lot of the time it just comes off the fact that they're not really winning a lot of opening kills. We've seen the AWP from Marcos playing very aggressively around that bathrooms position. He's finding a lot of impact. Maybe just going for something incredibly quick, like a quick B side execution. You know, the fact that Marcos isn't AWPing at B, and a lot of the time they're only leaving a single B defender at least early round. So it could be a good opportunity for Fate with that quick map control to go for a quick site execution.
Well, tech pause over and done with the yellow 5th player in for Fate. And again, 2 rounds to the lead if you're just joining us here. AVEZ slow to start, but now really gunning on the CT side. Fate need to turn something back to their favor relatively soon. You've got Hahn and Patrick quickly out of the gate here into the T-Con entrance, trying to get towards that mid control. Nade's doing damage to both of them. To the short and monster positions. The C teams are going to start to press on the B bomb side. Check out AVEZ and check out Ships' position. Could well be very hurt up by the push past the smokes. The CTs in mid will not see anything despite the aggression coming in from the likes of Bialy. Look at how pushed up this player is, but nothing being seen. No opening kills.
They are ready for it. They're just waiting. They're baiting in Bialy to get aggressively. As soon as he pushes forward, he's dead. He's a dead man. So if he stays here, they're in a really great position. They're able to stack up the B bomb site. They've got a player out towards Con, 3 over at the B bomb site, and Bialy, depending if Patrick leaves silently over to try and back up his teammates at B, then, I mean, he's already getting a fair bit of information. He's heard a couple of these flashes. Oh, and the peak, the timing could be so right behind with the AWP. They were waiting for so long, and Bialy, as soon as he looks for a little bit of information, he goes down.
Able to get that Molotov towards mid, though, can't drive them away. CTs do have connector control, so it's going to be a full-on execution from Short and Monster. And Nora and Kai gonna be able to get a pick back for Kai. Gets traded by Blocker. They should realize what's going on. Kyler going to swing in from connector on the squeaky door. Take us to a 3 versus 3. Norrock's hiding. Good lineup too. Patrick drops him, but Kyler drops him and Nikki back. 3 kills to the man. Harm with the AWP. 10 seconds. Knows that Kyler's there, but misses his shot. Not quite as accurate as his compadre over on the CT side. Kyler with 4 massive frags going to get AVEZ past the half advantage.
Now, one thing for Fate, if you are trying to go for a B-site execution after taking a bit of map control at A, especially with how little time on the clock there is, you need to be taking connector control. Kyler swings out from the contact of Kai out from short. He finds so much impact. He finds 4 massive kills. If only there was a single late lurk from Fate at the back of connector, they could have been able to shut Kyler down. And things were looking great. They got that opening advantage, but they just weren't able to hold on to it. And again, it comes down to the time, running that clock just so low. And Fate, with a 5-1 start, have now lost 7 rounds in a row.
Now shades of the old T side starting to come to fruition. Stack up towards long. Most of the players make their way out. They do bait in the AWP shot for Marcos, so they can gain long control as he's forced to fall back with the damage done. I think they had the triple boost in play, but it's just that flower pot position. They do make their way back into the mid and bathrooms area. Ships. He'll take a face in, he'll get seen, he'll get sprayed. Kyler adds 1 more kill to his tally. Marcos going to follow suit on Patrick. They do take out 1, but Marcos there with his 2K. Still kicking with the AWP with Arn and Nikki at 4 versus 2. Bomb dropped in that mid position as well, so Bialy, as long as he can hold on, they basically want the ground here for the CT side. Crosshair placement is a little bit off there on the reface. But still amount of advantage for AVEZ to work with, and time is ticking. They do need to reclaim this bomb. The scout from Han just can't really challenge Marcos unless he lands that headshot. Can't challenge the other players unless he gets those headshots in either. So Fate really in a rough position here.
And Han's just looking for something, and well, the swing comes out from a couple of the players. Nikki, how does he even clutch this out? 1 versus 3. Maybe see if he could pick up the bomb. He's got no time to get over to that B bomb site. And well, they're actually going to aggress rather than, you know, playing passive on the side. They actually decide to face him instead. But again, it's not a bomb plan, and it's not a lot of success. And the fact of the matter is, Jay, after that 5-1 lead that Fate have, they've only managed 1 bomb plant in these last 8 rounds.
Yeah, it really has been rough for Fate, and this was the thing I was fearing the most. You know, obviously Ships' introduction here as a sub has rocked things up a little bit in the early game, but AVEZ has just found the reads on the general Bulgarian sort of play style, and the end result has been this this decimation on the CT camp. As you mentioned, not a single bomb plant coming in for a number of rounds right here for the T side, and of those rounds, they've won so many in a row. T's execution going to come through here from the B-bomb site early. Ships will get Norrock first, looking to Sean. No idea there's a CT out there, so he'll take out Nikki from the passive positions. Going to allow Marcos to peek in and heaven drop 1 and 2. Dropping on the 3rd player right below him. He has no idea that Ships is there for a trade. As Kyler gets boosted up here towards the sandbag, Ships should know they shouldn't have heard this. Han going to check it. Ships will go down. Han last man standing. He's known. He's sandwiched. He's dead. 10-5 for the half. AVEZ, a beautiful CT side.
It really was, and we saw a lot of finesse. You know, we saw a lot of individual plays, we saw a lot of aggression, we saw a lot of confidence being played. Marcos in particular, man, what a half he was having. 16 kills and just 10 deaths, massive impact. Bialy as well, really being able to clutch out a lot of those retakes, especially in the first section of the first half. But really, that back end was a rough time for the Fate squad, and I certainly think that going into the second half, it's going to be a tough recovery. Man, for Fate, this would not be great if they went down to the AVEZ side in this kind of a scoreline. I mean, you look at the odds, very similar than how this map started out. A 3.24 for the Fate side over at loot.bet. An opportunity to maybe get a bet on them to see if they're able to establish a comeback, Jay, but I don't know if it's possible, mate.
Look, they had their T side, which at least is something. Again, as I mentioned, I think the majority of the rounds are going to come from Fate on the CT side. The problem is they just needed that T side to go relatively well to get the last few rounds over the board for them. Now's their chance to put the real heart on to AVEZ. It's the pistol round with the utility out here for Marcos and Nora. P250s, USPs, the double flash for Nikki. No defuse kit though for the CT camp. Seen this a lot from Fate, and I don't like it. Been in way too many retake positions, and again on a map like this where they've had a number of awkward sort of results. AVEZ could still steal one out from under their noses.
And, well, they've only got a single A defender coming out for this Fate side. A fair bit of utility for AVEZ to work with and trying to set themselves up for the long presence. And pretty much as soon as Ships goes down, it's going to be a pretty tough defensive coming out for the Fate side. The rotations should start coming in. They already are, but it's not enough time. That's a 5-on-4. This is going to be an easy bomb plant coming out for AVEZ.
And no kit for the retake. This is why I don't like it. Taps up from Kai. We'll see two CTs down there at least. Going to get backed up by a crossfire. Patrick will end up falling. Kai still knows another player there and using that P250 to great effect for it. 2K wrapping back in from the backlines here against Harley's expecting to be all back, missing his shots. Does get one good kill, but Marcos there to trade him as one player goes down to the backlines again for the hands of Kai. 3K to his name. Beautiful stuff in the P250 and a simple pistol to follow up from AVEZ. 11-5 now, looking to go further, and Fate, well, they're running out of rounds.
They really are. They're running out of money too. One thing that I really like in particular from that AVEZ round is the fact that they start to actually push and get map control once that bomb's planted. We saw Kai pushing very aggressively out through banks, showing that presence and trying to cut off the rotations. And for Fate, it is going to be a force buy. You can understand why. But really, they just need rounds. That's honestly what they need, Jay. They need rounds on the board, and they're not finding it.
Yeah, all their positives have just been, you know, potential for rounds and not rounds actually converting.
Yeah.
Molotov's down, smokes up. Han gonna try to get out of dodge here to the bathrooms. The Eagle standing by with Mac 10 closing in on his position. The smoke down towards that mid position as well, down towards Dumpster. And actually may have missed on the roof potentially. Breakthrough from Kyler looking for a blocker out here. Will receive some damage, so at the very least Fate with their SMG aggression is going to be able to do some sort of work against them here. But again, no opening picks past the first minute.
And really, what AVEZ are waiting for at this point is seeing if they could just get someone aggressive, and Kai will already somehow pushing out to the B bomb site completely undetected. And, well, this is just such a position to be in. I don't even know how he got there. Like, how did he just get completely undetected? Nikki can try and do the best that he can over at this A bomb site, but wow, not only one player goes down to a force buy from Fate. And, well, AVEZ, mate, this is 11 rounds in a row. This isn't even funny.
Here's the thing, right? That round was won by Kai. The fact he was in graffiti and there was no CTs expecting him, and the SMG AK range game is basically what won him that final frag. But, like, again, how did he get there? I realized, I believe... My main theory here, because I wasn't keeping tabs on all the positioning from Fate, is that they all
must have pushed out from
those two players, and they didn't keep Monster in check, so Kai could just walk straight in and then just gain such a ridiculous positional advantage.
Yeah.
Now, as you mentioned, looking at 12 to 5 with an eco to come through from Fate. Should be 13 on the board before we see the rifles brought down by the CTs. Unless they can use these upgrade pistols on Han and Ships to do some major damage. Without Kevlar, one flashbang for Nikki. Stack in towards long, and a little bit of a presence towards mid as well. But for the most part, if they rotate towards B right now, they'll have a simple bomb plant. And it's simple round.
Quote me if I'm wrong, Jay, but I don't think I've remembered a single tactical pause coming out for the Fate camp.
Nope.
We certainly did have that technical one where Nikki dropped, but you'd certainly think that by now a few tactical pauses should come through. Oh, this back 10.
Oh, okay. Nora just get away alive. It's a bit awkward there. He has backup there behind in the bathroom's entrance, but yeah, he gets away with the Mac 10. It won't be too much of a major sort of save there from AVEZ. You watch the awkwardness as he runs out of ammo, just like run, run quick. But no, 13 to 5. AVEZ still in a dominant lead, and now with the rifles coming in for Fate, they need to start winning some rounds now. The comeback needs to begin here because they are 3 rounds away from losing our opening best of 1, and yeah, it is a best of 1. No second or third maps here. Fate need to pick up the pace right now or start facing elimination from here.
And, well, you've got to think for Fate, there's got to be a change-up. And you even look at their CT setup. One thing that AVEZ did a really great job at in the first half, Jay, was they got aggressive. They were trying to look for information. The A players, yeah, they were semi-aggressive out through long at the beginning of the round, but this is so passive. They're bringing a 4th player over to B, having quite a heavy bomb site stack, but they don't really have too much information on what's going on at the moment.
Fall back here towards the V bomb site. CT's across the initial play. Smokes down here towards that mid and bathrooms area. Flashbangs from the CTs will start to get aggressive and give up a lot of information to the T side camp. So AVEZ, they're going to act upon it regardless, though. Moving in towards B. Taps from the AK. Can't see any of the CT presence. Smokes down. Kai's going to have to try fall out of dodge as they get bottlenecked back in. Look towards short, though. Patrick's here on off angle. Gets 1, but not 2. Ships is there to get Kai in the midst of the smoke, though. So a 4 versus 3 situation. Looking for Kai next up right there on short. Unable to get a secondary kill. We'll hear the reload, though. Blockers in his backline. Ships does end up with a good kill. Blocker with another good frag of his own right, but Ships gets 3 kills as Han and him stay in play for Fate. 6 to the CT board.
And I actually really like that from Fate. They had a 4-man stack over that B bomb side. They flash a couple of players looking for a short. They don't see any information, so they think, okay, you know, maybe it's an A play. We'll rotate 1 player up. But just the aggression coming out from short, as soon as the utility comes out from Monster, it kind of siphons AVEZ off from pushing Monster into that short position. And, well, they lost the numbers game. Fate finally going to be able to get back onto the board. It took a little bit of a time, but we need to see a response. The worst thing that can happen for Fate at this point, Jay, is winning a big round and losing the next.
T-side players coming in from Monster, flashes over the gate. Kyler, first man out, but a counter flash from the CT stops them dead in their tracks. Does not stop that opening kill, though. 5 versus 4. AVEZ continuing to push forward. Damage done to several CTs in the backline. Patrick going to get siphoned off from Ships. He does find Kyler for a trade frag, though. Bialy takes him down. Han with the orb going to be able to respond from heaven. And Ships still scoped in, looking for something out here, but nothing to be seen with the sheer wall of smokes posted up by the T-side. Bomb plant not yet secure. They will try for it right now. Ships on site, drops Bialy, looks for Kaya next up, but they do get the plant in. 1-for-1 trades across the board, 2 versus 2, but Han goes falling. Ships is close, and Nora does not whiff that spray. 2K for 14 and 2 away from AVEZ.
There was so much utility in that B bomb site. AVEZ pretty much used all of their utility just trying to get into the site. And there were so many flashes, the wall of smokes. And I think we must have seen like 2 or 3 Molotovs around that water position just to try and force Fate back into passive positions and allow that bomb to get planted. And 2-on-2, things were looking pretty good. Harm was out towards heaven, but gets taken down, and Nora has 2 very impactful kills. And, well, you got to think for Han, gets taken out immediately. That's such a great start. And AVEZ, they are so close to winning this opening best of 1.
They really are, and with Fate, so few rounds to give them sort of so few rounds as a buffer. I feel like it's very little of an opportunity to bring this back. At the very least, they do find one kill from Nicky there, but can't get to the AK. He'll try for it. Shit's gonna get forced forward. Norrot takes him down pretty easily. And AKF Kai seeing one player isolated to the B-bomb site. Blocker just about escapes with his life at the smoke. Patrick gets Bialy as well. Norrot there to respond to him, so CZ of Nicky could be a sneaky position here. We'll start creeping up through the squeak door. All down silently here towards that short position. The AWP Marcos also in a counter backstab, though he'll see this player and will be able to take him down pretty easily. He knows he's somewhere out there, sees the scope, sees the kill. Blocker, last man standing, drops down bomb in the last few seconds, but Kai's there to respond to it, so match point for AVEZ and 9 for Fate to get back into contention for OT. Yeah, I have to say it's over, I think. You know, I just don't see a way for them to be able to turn it around from here.
And this is really disappointing for the Fate side. You know, starting this map off, things looked really good. They had a very convincing pistol round. They were looking very comfortable. They won, you know, a couple of nice gun rounds. They went up 5-1. And I was thinking, you know, this could be the change-up we need. This could be them really starting to pull ahead from AVEZ. But that certainly is not the case at all. Once they'd lost all that momentum, once they'd lost the confidence, they were done. And for AVEZ, this has looked very simple for them. It really has. There hasn't been anything too complicated. It's just been simple Counter-Strike, simple trading. And even that, Kyler, you don't even expect he finds that first kill with the position of the CT side.
I mean, Shepster's going to trade back, but it's a 1-for-1 with major rifle advantage still sitting in the favour of the CT camp. To get rid of the M4 as well, someone's got to swing back in to connect to pick that up. Playing much more passively as well for his position. There's another CT also in the bathrooms. Han tries to find his own position. Patrick giving up his angle, so Kai knows he's somewhere close. Sees the man. Can't take him down. It's Norrot instead that gets Han. As Patrick does eventually fall. The 2 players left. 1 player left. Block up. Out towards long. I mean, they have cleared the A bomb site. Rotating in bursts out. Takes something more rubber. That should course rotation. Or just force a kill to the same. That works the same for Bialy. 16-6. There's a dominant matchup and a disappointing performance for Fate. For a map that is so commonly known in the Bulgarian scene as being one of their most common ones, I have to say